Hello and welcome to the Africa Soft Power podcast, a show changing narratives and improving realities by incorporating vital and unseen African perspectives into global conversations while strengthening connections with the global diaspora community. My name is Folake Anozie, and on this episode we are talking tourism, fashion and filmmaking with 4 exceptional trailblazers. You'll be hearing from Michaella Rugwizangoga, the Chief Tourism Officer at Rwanda Development Board, Nwakaego Boyo, founder of Temple Productions, Folake Akindele-Coker, founder of Tiffany, and Tariro Washe, a filmmaker and managing director at Meso, Maviri. Hello, Michaella. Welcome to the Africa Soft Power podcast.
Hello, Shade. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here. And this is your first time at the summit. Can you speak about your experience thus far?
Yes. So it's the second time that the Africa Soft Power Summit is happening in Kigali. But this is the first time for me to attend. And I'm very happy. Last year, I couldn't either attend as a participant or as a speaker. I was due. I had a baby girl on the 27th of May, so that very week where you were here.
Yeah.
But I followed everything online, and I love the concept, the ideas. I love the lineup of speaker is really, really well chosen. I think the Africa Soft Power is very well curated, and the quality of the conversation is unmatched. So grateful to Nero for bringing it here.
That's awesome. And congratulations again. That's amazing. Now, you spoke on the panel, New Pathways, Travel, Tourism, and Trade in Africa.
Yes.
Can you share a bit about what the conversation was like?
So the panel this morning really touched on the 360 of travel and tourism and what makes our continent unique, both on the quality side, but also on the challenge side of it. As Chief Tourism Officer, I shared about Rwanda, about Visit Rwanda, about the policies that our country has put in place to enable movement of people, to enable conferences such as yours to be here from an infrastructure point of view, but also travel policies. Our country is visa-free for all citizens of the world, and it's something that is really at the core of the leadership here. We say that we want this to be happening across Africa. We want an Africa that is open, where we can move freely, both via air, but also on road. It's important that we continue the advocacy. I think Adefunke mentioned that the importance of advocacy in the work we do and in the path we are in to open and connect our continent.
Yeah. Now, you are the Chief Tourism Officer of the Rwanda Development Board.
Yes.
Can you speak about what your work is on a day-to-day basis? And I know that may be different. It may change. But generally, what does that look like?
Yeah. So the Rwanda Development Board is the investment agency of the country, but it also includes tourism. So it's a very unique setup we have in Rwanda. We don't have a Ministry of Tourism. We have RDB, and within RDB, the Office of the Chief Tourism. So our team look at the sector as a whole, from promotion, so meaning promoting the destination outside, attending fairs, attending different exhibitions around the world to talk about the destination. We have product development. So what are the new products that we want to offer to tourists? Today, our offering is 80% nature-based. We have magnificent parks, some of the most ancient forests on the planet, Nyungwe Forest. We've done incredible work in conservation. So the park is also the third layer on which we work. So management of the national park, conservation, ensuring that the gorilla and all the other species we have around the country are well protected, well sustained. And the fourth pillar is the Rwanda Film Office. So we have also a new Rwanda Film Office, still small, but we want to grow it. I was actually chatting with the film commissioner from Ghana earlier, and I love those connections that are happening here in the room at the Africa Soft Power. And we'll do more cross Africa collaboration in the days to come. So that's my job on a daily basis, and of course, the Visit Rwanda sports tourism partnerships, which are at the heart of our marketing campaign. You must have seen our tagline on the sleeves of players at Arsenal, PSG, and with the BAL. And at the heart of our strategy, we want to use sports as a platform to reach millions of people around the world, because we believe that sports has a positive effect for our population, beyond Rwanda as well. It has a strong unifying effect.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we want to be a leading sports destination. And that's why you have the Biki Arena. We are hosting the Basketball Africa League here in Rwanda, and we'll be hosting the World Cycling Championship in 2025.
That's great. Now, my final question before I let you go is, what was the last song or album that you listened to?
So I listened to, there's an artist from Ivory Coast, which I love her. I was born in Ivory Coast, so I listened to a lot of West African music and also Afrobeat, actually.
Yeah, okay.
But the song that I've been listening recently is a DJ. It's called DJ Kerosene,
Okay.
and he's Ivorian.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
So it's urban music.
Okay. And happy
Ivory Coast.
Africa Day.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Happy
yeah,
Africa Day too.
That's it. I know. Happy Africa Day. Now, any closing words you have for the Africa Soft Power team?
For the Africa Soft Power team, thank you. Thank you, Murakoze. I will say it in every language, and I know my heart is filled with gratitude. I think the work you do is excellent. It's African excellence at its best. I can't wait for the gala dinner tonight.
Yeah. Do you have an idea of what you're wearing?
Look, I do,
Okay.
but okay, now this is gonna be my first Nigerian parties. You guys, you're on a different level.
Yeah.
I saw the post by Bella Niger yesterday.
Yes, yeah.
Like these are so I'm still thinking. I have 2 or 3 ideas.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for tonight.
Yeah. And you look lovely.
And
regardless.
I want to say thank you to the team. Thank you to Niru, and we look forward to a great collaboration in the years to come.
Hello, Mrs. Boyo. Welcome to the Africa Soft Power podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
We've been trying to get you yesterday, but you had a panel.
It's been busy.
Yes.
Busy.
And then I was wrapping up and I was like, oh, she left. And then you just came.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here.
No worries.
Now, this is your first time at the Africa Soft Power
Yes.
Summit. What has your experience been like thus far?
My experience, oh my goodness, it's been a lot of experiences. But what I have taken away is that we must continue to have conversations like this, conversations that not only educate, but also empower, because I feel so empowered to do even more. There have been so many gems that have taken away, so many wonderful speakers, great information, great advice, opportunities to rethink some of the things that, you're doing, opportunities to, connect with people. The networking has also been fantastic. So kudos to Nkiru and the entire team. It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
And I definitely plan on coming back again.
Oh, that's awesome. So happy
Yes,
to hear that.
yes.
And you talked about there have been so many gems. Can you share 1 or 2 that really stuck out to you?
Okay, so I think it was, no, not that I think, I know it was, I call her Sis Funke. She's in charge of the Aviation Authority, and she gave us what she called the 7 C's. And it's really because a lot of women, and I have experienced this as well, when you're in the space, the creative space, and in fact in any industry, you sometimes feel this sort of imposter syndrome. You think that you perhaps, and the way that you're conditioned as well, to feel that you don't belong. So she was, she gave us these 7 tips. I can't remember all of them offhand, but it was charisma, courage, confidence, and character. There were several. So that was something that stuck with me. And you've heard it constantly through the 2 days. So a lot of people have also taken that in. And going forward, these are the sort of things that you sort of need to make sure that they are in place, so that when you do present yourself in the business, whatever business or industry that you are in, these are the sort of things that you should keep in mind, are things that will take you far.
Yeah.
Stand you in good ground. Yes.
Of course, definitely. Yesterday, you spoke on the panel From Awareness to Action, how change makers harness media and technology.
Yes.
Can you speak about your experience on that?
I mean, I think even being on that panel, preparing for it and all of that, the perspectives of a lot of people were also great. It was wonderful, which is why I like panels like this, because you not only share your view, you're getting the views of other people, and some of those views, some of those opinions can change or give you greater perspective. So that's what I gained from that panel. And in terms of the work that I do, it was wonderful to also get ideas about what other creatives are doing to get funding, to get market access. These are the things that are crucial. And just to keep telling that African story, just from yesterday and then again today, to hear some of what I said re-echoed by the filmmaker from Rwanda, who is just saying, make those authentic African stories and, just be true to your experiences. Authenticity is so important in terms of telling our own stories, and just that we just have to continue to tell those stories. So yes, it's been wonderful.
Speaking of the work that you do, you're the founder of Temple Productions.
Yes.
For people who don't know what it is that you do, can you share a bit about that?
So I'm a filmmaker. I'm a producer. I've done some directing, but my core area is producing, and that's what I love, being able to come up with or green light a project that I'm passionate about. And so that's what I've always done. I mean, not always. I was an actor as well, an actress. And then I got into producing, and I love it. And I think I straddle both. I think I'm able to do, I haven't done a lot of acting in 2 decades, I think, but I still love acting and then producing. And it's an opportunity to create stories, unique African stories that that resonates not only with me, but also hopefully society. Yeah. So that's what I do. And then I also do a bit of advocacy, especially around women's issues. And yes, that's what I do.
Yeah. Speaking of advocacy, can you speak about your work with Tempio Media Advocacy Foundation? Can you speak more about that?
So Tempio Media was set up because I had been approached by organizations who wanted to amplify their messaging through media. And so I decided that I was so intrigued and so passionate when I did learn about what their specific advocacy was about. And I decided that what we would do was set up this organization to support any organization or any advocacy group that is, trying to amplify their voice, their message through media. So that's what we do. If you have an advocacy, you come to us, discuss it, and particularly around women. And then we're able to assist in terms of producing from jingles to actual media, visual messages.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Across media, yeah.
Another thing that you do, obviously, in your work is that you mentor women that are looking to get into film.
I mentor women who are trying to get into this industry, and who are not only the film industry. Some people are in journalism, even education, because I'm also very passionate about education. So I mentor women, and generally I just want to mentor young women because there are pitfalls. And I think if you have women who are willing to sort of share their journey and share their experiences and give you great advice, then part of the journey has already been, fulfilled, because you've got that great sort of advice and somebody in your corner already cheering you on. So I think it's important. Yeah.
I know that you said you hadn't acted in quite a while, but for someone who's trying to, but you're still ever so relevant, and you're still this amazing legend. I grew up watching you. So I'm fangirling inside. I'm just gonna act super, super cool.
Yeah.
For someone trying to build and sustain a career in film and TV, what advice would you give to them?
I would say be courageous. I'm taking from the 7 C's.
Yes.
I'm saying be courageous because it's tough. It is tough, but be courageous and be authentic. Be sure of exactly who you are and what it is you want to bring to this industry. Do great research about what is out there and what you're able to do. And just stay the distance. So that courage and confidence in your abilities is very important.
I love that. And my final question is, what was the last song or album that you listened to?
What was the last thing? I think it would be the last thing I would have listened. Well, I would say I really listened because I'd already heard it. But we were dancing yesterday.
Yeah.
We danced to I'm Unavailable. So that has stuck in my head. Yeah. But really, really listened to, I think it was I had just downloaded the new Her, H-E-R.
Oh yeah, the artist,
her album. So I'm just trying to get into it because when I download music, I then sort of listen to it continuously for like 6 hours, and then it sticks in my head, and I sort of know it. So that's the last thing I downloaded, or I said I would listen to properly. But in terms of the last song I heard, it was
Davido's Unavailable. That's great.
And we danced to it.
That's awesome. Now, any closing words for the Africa Soft Power team?
I would say fantastic job, guys. Keep going. I think this was phenomenal. It's still going on. There are 2 days left. So we've combined all that knowledge gathering, and then we're going to have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So I think well done. and keep going. And I can't wait for the next edition next year.
Yeah, and are you going to you're going to the gala. Do you know what you're wearing?
Yes, I'm actually wearing a designer, Ejiro Amos Tajiri. She's Nigerian, and she's made me an Ashoke dress, because I think Ashoke is one of those fabrics, like an old generation fabric. To me, that's what it is. But they've reimagined it for the modern world. But it's made from Ashoke embroidery, which is very Nigerian, and beading, which is something new that we now do.
Yeah.
So it sort of, to my mind, fits the sustainability theme of the summit.
It really
I don't know
does.
how.
No, it
does. Fashion is...
Fashion, go ahead, please.
Yes. Well, no, because fashion, well, if you read the sort of... when it comes to climate change and all of that, they always say that fashion is not exactly, because you know that you generate so much, and it's not exactly saving the climate.
Yes, it's not.
But I was just thinking, because Ashoke is a fabric that is, a lot of times, sometimes you have fabrics that your parents owned. You can just reimagine them for the modern world. So that's where that idea of, you know, Ashoke or Akwete, those sort of older fabric. And of course, the history of Adire and Co in Nigeria.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I hope you have a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Folake. Welcome to the Africa Soft Power podcast.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to have you here. This is your first time at the Africa Soft Power Summit, right? Mm-hmm. What has your experience been like thus far?
My experience has been really good so far. When Inky asked me to be a speaker, I was really quite excited because, you know, soft power is something that I'm really trying to make people understand now. That the soft power of African brands is one of the ways that we can actually grow the continent and make it so much more vibrant and appealing to the world at large. And so it's been good. And, you know, there's one thing I've been really bad with in the past, networking. I never do it. But this time I've been so deliberate about networking, and I've met some very incredible women.
Why did you not want to do networking before? Because people have different reasons.
I didn't want to do it. It's just more like I'm one of those people. I'm like an introverted extrovert. So I'm not a natural public speaker. So once I'm in that space, a part of my brain shuts down. They just want to escape, but still take away all the information that I
Yeah. No, because people feel like sometimes with networking, it makes you feel like you have to be who you're not, because you're trying to. Yeah.
I think with age, you get to realize that it's more work being who you're not than being who you really are. So
Yeah. So you spoke on the role of private capital in the creative economy. What was your experience like on the panel, and were there any insights that your co-panelists shared that you just found really insightful?
My experience on the panel was that it was more geared toward funding than actually the creative industry. So it's not my area of expertise. So once or twice I was a little bit off, but I could relate to all the stories. Actually, after 25 years in the industry, you've realized that you've gone through all those obstacles and the triumphs and the recipes of throwing in the towel and so many things. So at the end of the day, yes, I could relate to it, but and it was a new area of focus for me.
Yeah.
So there was a lot to learn from it.
Yeah, because I feel like one of the challenges that creates is, whether you're a fashion designer or a musician, whatever it is, funding is such a huge, capital is such a huge issue. Mm-hmm. How have you been able to manage the ups and downs, starting small and then becoming this global brand name?
Well, for me, I think starting small and growing organically, as I said, 25 years is a long time. And it makes it very easy when your product is something that people love. So you know that I have more problems keeping up stocking than I do actually producing. So it's been, when I say the business has grown organically, for me that's been my story. However, in terms of scaling up to the level that I want to be, I'm going to have to...
I laugh because people are like, we all have big dreams.
Yes.
So people see I'm like, you're the pinnacle, right?
No.
Yeah.
I've just started.
Yeah.
I've just started. Well, so to build a brand that would outlive me, I'm going to be working until the day that I meet my maker.
Yeah. Now, my colleague said I should ask you this question. 2 questions, actually. How were you able to seamlessly switch from petroleum, law to fashion?
It wasn't a seamless switch. It was more like I never kickstarted that. I stopped at my academics, and it was in between holiday from law school in year 1 to year 2 that I discovered that I could make something of this brand. As I said, we were more or less like an overnight success. Being the first pioneer in the ready-to-wear industry, People often ask me that, what is it about fashion that I like so much? And for me, it's not really fashion that I like so much. It's the drive to succeed in whatever it is that I focus on. I want to succeed in whether it's my work, motherhood, anything I do. So what I will tell your friend is, don't focus on it being a switch. Just move on and focus on making whatever you switch to being a success. So if it had to be a switch, this is what I would have done.
Yeah, and her other question, kind of similar to what you've already touched on, is she said, in some social spaces, you are regarded as the queen of ready-to-wear labels in Africa.
I'm adjusting my crown.
As you should. What led to you carving this niche for yourself?
Hell of a lot of hard work. I work so hard. I was telling my operations manager that at your age, I was sleeping 3 hours a day. I slept, I ate, I drank, I did fashion. The only time I kind of took a mental break was to be a mother. And luckily, I had my 3 children in 5 years. And I'm completely enchanted and awestruck by them because they allow me to grow in my passion.
Okay, I love that. Now, my final question is, what was the last song or album that you listened to?
How do I get through one night without you? If I ever live without you, what kind of life would that be? Oh,
Did you consider singing? Did you ever sing?
If you ever leave, baby, you will take away everything good in my life. And tell me how.
How do I? Okay, see, my voice is not as great as yours. That's awesome. Now, any parting words for the Africa Soft Power team?
I am looking forward to being invited again. I'm looking forward to doing something with Africa Soft Power team in Nigeria.
Okay. Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you.
Hello, Tariro. Welcome to the Africa Soft Power podcast.
Hi, Sade. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. This is your first time at the summit, right?
Yes.
Can you talk about your experience thus far? And actually, sorry, why did you choose to come?
I was invited to speak.
Okay.
I actually didn't know about it, which is, I'm like, what hole have I been living in? This is absolutely amazing. I've only been today, but the conversation that's happening, the amount of talent, the skill, the innovation that's in conversation is really encouraging. It's really encouraging to see that these are the conversations that are happening across the continent and with the diaspora.
Have you spoken yet?
I have.
Okay.
Yes.
What was your experience like on the panel?
It was amazing. I was like, wow, people are very knowledgeable. My panelists are like, they're like doctors upon doctors of what.
Yeah.
But something was really interesting was just the highlighting connectivity on the continent and how like we need to easily connect specifically through air travel. And I'm just like, yeah, absolutely. Because there's so many countries where you can't just go like directly. You need to go east first before you go west. Or once I had to go to Benin, I went to I think it was Nairobi. I went east before I went west.
Was Miss Funke Adeyemi on your panel?
Yes.
Yes, I spoke to her. Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
like, I did not know. But yeah, she's got a lot of information, and just I have a better appreciation for aviation and the work that they're doing and wanting to connect the continent through travel.
Yeah. My awesome colleague here, Latifa, said that you have to interview Tariro. She's a big deal. She is a big deal.
Look at what you're doing to me now.
So can you please talk a bit about the work that you do for people who don't know?
Okay, so I'm a filmmaker. I am self-taught filmmaker. I'm currently working on my 3rd production. I'll give you a rundown of the productions that I've done. The first one is called Nwakaego the Movie, which is an anti-poaching film that I released in 2020. I'd actually won an award at the Pan-African Film Festival in Los Angeles. The second film is the story of Nehanda. It's a story about a spirit medium in Zimbabwe who led the first uprising against colonial rule in 1869. 1896. This is a woman leading, uprising against colonial rule in the 1800s.
Wow.
Remarkable. And now the 3rd production that I am working on, and which is what brings me to Kigali, is a collaboration between Zimbabwe, Rwanda, and Senegal. It's going to be a series of films. So this first film is a collaboration of those 3 countries, but I'm looking to have different countries collaborate on the different films. So I'm hoping to soon be coming to Nigeria.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an exciting thing. I'm actually releasing a teaser today at at the BAL Innovation Summit a little later today.
That's awesome. Happy early release.
Thank you.
Look forward to checking it out. Now, my final question is, what was the last song or album that you listened to?
So, Limo Blaze, sets my life on fire. I'm like, yes. And also, Louis Pascal. That, I don't know if you know, do you know Louis Pascal?
Mm-mm.
Do you know Limo Blaze?
Yeah, I heard
Okay,
it.
all right,
Yeah.
okay. My favorite song is Life of Grace, because I think that's just been the anthem of my life, and especially on this production. Hey, I've seen the hand of God, please. So yeah.
Okay, and obviously you heard about the passing of Tina Turner. Can you
Yes.
just speak briefly about what her music means or meant to you over the years?
I mean, she is someone who has been such an inspirational story. Her life was not easy.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw the thing, I just got angry again, you know. I remember watching, I think it was, the name of the film was
What's Up
Love
Got to Do with
Yeah.
It?
Oh, my man. Oh, my gosh, I was so upset with, what's his name?
Ike Turner.
Ike
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
But I think the way that she survived through that and she thrived even after that, she's one whose passion and story came through her music, and she really inspired a lot. So it's such a great loss to us.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, may her soul, rest in peace. And any last words for the Africa Soft Power team?
You guys are doing an amazing job. We want to see you in Harare, Zimbabwe. Come to Southern Africa.
Yes.
Do it. But yeah, you guys are doing an amazing job, and keep going.
Thank you to all our guests on this episode. And if you enjoyed this episode, please rate us on your preferred podcast platform. To learn more about Africa Soft Power, visit africasoftpower.com. Also, check us out on social media to stay up to date on our programming. We are on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Africa Soft Power. This episode is produced and edited by Folake Anose. The show's executive producer is Dr. Nkiru Balong. Music for the show is by Imodu Ayonote. Till next time, thanks so much for listening.